Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Dragunity Yugioh deck profile for June 2024. Wanted to update the Dragunity deck. It is one of the more used hidden arsenal / dual terminal fun synchro decks that you can build, focusing on being able to equip your many different wing beast Dragunity monsters with your dragon Dragunity monsters to then either summon out some of the link options we have for the deck or our many different Dragunity synchro monsters as well. So very happy with the changes I've made to the deck as I go for more and more of a competitive build for the Dragunity lineup. You end up using less and less of the spell lineup, being more situational cards and just the go-to Dragon Ravine along with some of the monster lineup for the Dragunity deck, but still very, very happy with the results of the deck. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. For the Dragunity monsters, we're running 3 copies of Dragunity Legatus. With this card, if you control a Dragunity monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If a Dragunity monster cards in your spell and trap card zone, you can target a spell or trap card on the field and destroy it. So this gives you more setup just as a monster resource on the field. We don't normally utilize the spell and trap option with this card. It's just good to have a wing beast body that we can easily special summon back onto the field using our many different Dragunity resources that we may just have on the field as well. And that includes, even if we just have to summon out a Dragunity dragon monster to the field, we at least have our summon then onto the field thanks to this card. Now, I do want to run 3 copies of Dragunity Senatus. I know it came out in the 2023 Megaton. I don't know why I don't have more copies of even the common variant of this card. I have Dragunity Militum as just a placeholder for it. But with Senatus, you can discard 1 Dragunity card to equip 1 Dragunity Dragon Tuner monster from your deck to this card. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the X deck for the rest of this turn, except for Dragon monsters, which isn't really a big lockdown since the majority of our X deck is considered Dragon for the lineup. And then if a Dragunity card you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy 1 Dragunity card equipped to this card instead for more of a protection option. But a lot of the times you're just going to equip a Dragunity card onto your Senatus that you can then in turn special summon onto the field, like cards like Dragunity Phalanx. And also running the 2 copies of Dragunity Ducks. It gains 200 attack and defense for each Dragunity card you control. When it's normal summon, you can target a level 3 or lower Dragunity monster in your graveyard, equip that target to this card. So Ducks is just more of a setup that you'll make use of with cards like Dragon Ravine in the deck, being able to then send a dragon monster from your deck to the graveyard, and then just summon out your Ducks to equip that monster onto it, and then make use of the different effects that that Dragunity card may have on the field. For the Dragon type monsters, for the Dragunities, we're running 3 copies of Dragunity Remus. It cannot be used as synchro material except for the synchro summon of a Dragunity monster. You can discard this card to add 1 Dragon Ravine from your deck to your hand. If you control a Dragunity monster, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except for Dragon monsters. So, another big play that comes in the form of Remus is just the easy special summon setup, with this card being able to special summon it if you control a Dragunity monster, and then also being able to just make use of this card for an easy search for your main go-to field spell. For the other Dragunity monsters, 1 copy of Dragunity Phalanx and the 1 Dragunity Guisarm. For the option with Guisarm to then be able to target a level 4 lower Wind Dragon or Wing Beast monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Guisarm is mostly here just to set up more of our Dragunity Romulus plays, but there is a pretty fun play that I'll show that you can make use of with your Tempest Dragon Ruler of the Storms that we also run, and Guisarm in the deck also. And then Phalanx, once you get set up in the graveyard, is just a good recycle option for your tuner to be able to, once per turn while it's equipped to a monster, special summon that as an equipped card. So the more you equip your Phalanx, it's just always a soft once per turn to summon back onto the field again. For the rest of our generic lineup for the support we run in the deck, we run the 1 copy of Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, more special summon options for our dragon monsters by just having to banish 1 as well. So then you can even just banish the Remus that you summoned off of its own effect, since it's going to be banished anyway, to summon out your Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. The 1 Garuda is another option for your Wing Beast monsters by just banishing 1 wind monster from your graveyard. The 1 copy of the Tempest for more of the banish options, since we run a good majority of wind monsters in the deck as well. The 1 Miss Valley Baby Rock is another Wing Beast option for you when it's sent from the hand to the graveyard to special summon it to the field. And then the 1 Crystal Beast Cobalt Eagle. I've seen this combo and I really do like it as setup for our field spell search, which I'll go over at the end as well. And then the rest of the monsters that we run run in the main deck are just the 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. I do like to run a hand trap lineup. A lot of times you just need the 1 Winged Beast set up in your hand and the 1 Dragon Monster in your graveyard to set up a good majority of the Dragunity plays to begin with. So the rest of the cards in your hand can be consisted of different hand traps that you use also. For the spells, as I said, the main majority spell that we run regarding the Dragunity cards in the deck is the Dragon Ravine. Once per turn, you can discard 1 card, activate one of these effects. You can add 1 level 4 or lower Dragunity monster from your deck to your hand, or send 1 Dragon monster from your deck to the graveyard. So if you have the discard of a Dragunity Dragon in your graveyard set up, then you'll search the Winged Beast type monster, or just being able to already have the Winged Beast monster in your hand, you can just send the Dragon from your deck to the graveyard. So more and more setup depending on what you want to use. Is also a great way to set up some of our other dragons that we run the deck, like Tempest in the graveyard, all the faster to use, with more search options in the deck being the 2 copies of Pot of Prosperity. Most of the time I just need 1 particular card, so I'm going for the Banish 3 with this spell, and also the 1 copy of Gold Sarcophagus, more of a banish option to grab a particular resource back to our hand as well. The 1 Triple Tactics Talent, and also the 1 Call by the Grave for the 1-ofs for the spells we run on the deck, with our other spells consisting of 3 Foolish Burial Goods. Now this one we'll go over in just a bit for our trap specific lineup, because these act as just another searcher for our Dragon Ravine, and any extra ones we have in our hand can potentially be used for the discard play for the Dragon Ravine that we just searched out. And then also the 2 copies of Crossouts Designator with the hand traps running Ash Blossom, Pot of Prosperity, Triple Tactics Talent as another target to stop our opponent from using these cards against us, is why I like to run these 2 cards so we can continue our own plays in the deck with the setup we get on the field. For the traps, I run the 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence along with the Ash Blossom, just the additional hand trap spot in the deck to run, and also the 2 copies of Metaverse to search out or activate our Dragon Ravine, with the last of the traps being the Rainbow Bridge of Salvation. This is why I'm also running the Cobalt Eagle in the deck. The fact that Cobalt Eagle is a Winged Beast type monster also adds for the benefit, because then with your Rainbow Bridge of Salvation, you can banish this card from your graveyard, and it being a trap means that you can also activate it during your opponent's turn if necessary, but you're most of the time just going to activate it once it's sent right off the Foolish Burial Goods. You can use this card to add 1 Crystal Beast monster and 1 field spell from your deck to your hand. You can only apply each effect of Rainbow Bridge once per duel. It's really all you need, because then you're going to add the Winged Beast monster, which is the Cobalt Eagle, and then our field spell, which is the Dragon Ravine, after you send your Rainbow Bridge of Salvation to the graveyard off of Foolish Burial Goods. For the extra deck, sticking to a pretty pure for the Synchro lineup for the Dragunity monsters, the 1 copy of Ascalon, needing a Dragunity tuner, and 1 non-tuner monster, being able to banish a Dragunity monster from graveyard, target a monster your opponent controls, and banish it for that option as well. And then being able to special summon a Dragunity Synchro monster with 3,000 less attack from your extra deck if this card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card. The 1 Barcha for more setup of being able to select any number of Dragon-type Dragunity monsters in your graveyard and equip them to this card. So then you have the Phalanx re-equip, so Barcha can even be used to go into Ascalon if needed. The 1 Arid Bar, along with the 1 Dragunity Trident and the 1 Dragunity Luin. Like I said, there's a wide variety of Dragunity monsters to run, and I like to run all of them just for a wide variety of what to be able to go into as well, with the final Dragunity monsters being the 1 Gaydurg for the added search and setup of the graveyard, and the 2 Vajrayanas just being able to then also have an additional equip for this card to then have a double of this card's attack, or just a special summon option with Phalanx to then be able to go into a level 8 Synchro monster, with that monster most of the time being our Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. For the Link monsters, now sadly I couldn't find my Romulus for the deck, so I have a Win the Wind Charmer Verdant as a placeholder for Dragunity Knight Romulus, the 2 copies of Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres for easy bounce power and then special summon power of a dragon monster to the field, the 1 Barricade Board Blocker along with the 1 Triple Burst Dragon and the 1 Boral Sword, because a lot of times we are locked in to dragon monsters for a good majority of our plays. And then as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, as I said, the Dragunity search and setup for Dragon Ravine is very important in the deck. So activating cards like Foolish Burial Goods, sending our Rainbow Bridge of Salvation for a banish cost to then get us our Crystal Beast Cobalt Eagle and our Dragon Ravine, because then we can activate Dragon Ravine, sending off the Cobalt if need be for the cost of the card, to then search out the proper setup. We can either go for the Dragon Send to the graveyard, because then the Dragon Send will will mostly be if we have the other Wing Beast monster in our hand, whether it be Dragunity Ducks or our Dragunity option for cards, like our Legatus for the special summon. But a lot of times you'll go for Ducks because then you can just normal summon it out, then grab the Phalanx to equip from the graveyard to this card, special summoning out the Phalanx, going for the level 6 synchro play, and then you can either summon out the Vajrayana for the summon, equipping on the Dragunity Phalanx, and that additional card for the summon of your bigger synchro monster, whether it be your Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, the Dragunity Barcha, because then with Barcha you can re-equip the Phalanx bed onto this card, and then go for the special summon again to go into Ascalon, or just sit on the Crystal Wing. The build-up for the majority of monsters in our graveyard come on the following turn. If you can go for another graveyard setup, this time you'll either want to set up the Dragunity option for you to add the level 4 Dragunity monster from your deck to your hand. But if you have Guisarm in your hand for that search, then the send option comes down to setting up the Dragunity Dragon Ruler of Storms. And let's say you just went for the Crystal Wing play in the graveyard. So then you'll have the normal summon of your Guisarm onto the field. Then you can use the banish of 2 of your Wind monsters in the graveyard to summon out the Tempest Dragon Ruler of Storms, having your level 3 option of Guisarm, and then the level 7 Dragunity or Tempest on the field, not Dragunity, just Dragon Ruler Tempest. You have the requirements to just straight summon out Dragunity Knight Ascalon to the field, needing a Dragunity Tuner, and then the non-tuner monster, forming the level 10 Synchro monster without having to go into any other monsters. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, been wanting to update the Dragunity deck for a while now, and happy with the results, being able to stick to a good variety of the different Dragon Synchros in the extra deck, while keeping a vast majority of the main playstyle in the main deck being the Dragunity monsters themselves. But as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.